Hello, my name is Bart, and you can find me on the internet if you Google Excel Bart. There you can find all kind of resources about Power BI and Excel. This is my first video made with Camtasia. It's about graphing the development in time of a saving model. You have interest during the year and yearly payments. I hope you like this video, and if you have any remarks how you would make this graph, please let me know. Now, let's get started. Alright, welcome. This is a model where we calculate the savings of every year. The model works as following. Every year we save a certain amount, we receive a certain interest for a number of years, and we have a certain start date. Now let's fill in the model. The begin value equals the saving amounts at the beginning of the year, so equals 100. Then we are going to calculate when that date is. This is the 1st of January 2013, so we make a reference to this cell. Then we have interest in that year. During that year we start with 100 and we multiply this with 5%, so make a reference to the cell. Enter, and we fix it to copy it later down. The end value equals the beginning value plus the interest of that year, makes 105. And when is that? Well, therefore we make a cell function. We use eDate, and we use the eDate function to add 12 months to it, and we subtract -1. So at the end of this year, every year it's the 31 of December. The value of the beginning is the value of the end of the previous year. We make a reference, enter, and we add the 100 as the saving amount of every year. Well, what's the beginning of the year? That's the end of the year of the last period plus 1 day, makes 1 January 2014. We can copy the interest, and we can copy the value of the end of the second year. And we also can copy the end of the second year. If we have all these cells, we can copy down. We have to add 10 years, so let's make a help column to just enter 10 columns, and then we can copy all of it all the way down. Now let's format this a bit. I don't like all these decimals, so we select the first column, less decimal places, let's say 2 decimal places, copy the format, and we format also the interest and the value end. Alright, now let's check if we made it alright. There is an Excel function called future value. The rate is the interest rate, the number of period is 10, the payment every period is 100, make a reference, the current value is 0, and we pay at the end of the year, the beginning of the year, sorry. And what do we see? We see a value which is negative, and we have to make it positive by entering a minus sign for it. Alright, we see then that our value in our model is the same as the value in the formula. So now we can continue with our plan to make a special graph showing the development of interest and the strong increase at the beginning of every year. We are going to do this by making a table, an Excel table. We select a value first and then insert a table. First we have to click in the area, Ctrl T, and then click OK. Now we're going to move this to Power Query in menu Data from Table, and this is our table. We have to format something first. So the date and the time we convert to date, replace current, and we repeat this for the end of the year. So there also we have then a date. Alright, we give this a name, and we give this the name start, and this is our basic data. In the queries we are going to duplicate this, and we're going to change the name to begin. In this file we take only the begin value and the begin date. So the value and the date, and we remove the other columns. Alright, we are going to change the names because later we're going to append, and therefore we need exactly the same column names. And beginning of year, we call this date. Alright, we have our first table. Now let's duplicate the start table. Right mouse button and then click duplicate. And we're going to repeat this, but now we're going to keep the columns of the last part. So the end of the year and the end value. We select both of them, hold the control button and then remove other columns. Change the names, rename to value and rename to date. Replace date. Alright. Now we have to combine them together and we are going to use an append query. So we click in append queries as new, click on it, and then you can select the two queries or tables. The begin and the end, click OK, and we see that it will be merged. The two tables are stacked together. Now we have to sort the list, of course, by date. So select the column for date, and then we are going to sort ascending. Later we will change the sequence of it. Alright. The sequence of the columns. But first let's put this into Excel. Alright, we are going to click Load To, and we select now that we have to edit this first because we are going to change the column. If we make a graph, we want first the date and then the value. We don't bother about the formatting. This is something we do in Excel. So close and load, and it's still on a connection, so we have to change it, right mouse button, and then move it to Excel in the form of a table. I move it to another sheet and then I cut it and then I move it here in the sheet number 2. And this is the result of our table. We select the values and make the formatting as euros. Now we're going to make a graph of it, select the values, insert graph. We can use a line graph in this case, and here you see our beautiful result. A combination of a step chart and a linear development of the interest. So this is the actual visualization of a saving model. Sometimes you see a jump, and during the year you see a slightly increase in the value based on the interest. Alright, the last thing I would like to show you is the behavior of the table. Let's say we want to increase the number of years. Now we have 10 years and we end at the 1st of May 2023, which is available in the graph. Now let's change it to 13 years, and now we have to change the graph. We increase the number of lines to 13, and what we have to do then, if we have to copy one formula down, namely the value of the beginning. And the reason for that is that this formula is not automatically filled because the first formula in B9 is a bit different than the formula in B10. If they were the same, it would be done automatically. Now we have to refresh the graph, and you see that the graph is updated. The last value is in the year 26 and is also in the 26 in the graph. So this is the graph. I really hope you liked this video, and I hope to see you again for one of the next Excel examples.